Hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar. We are joined by Sian Moss and Alexa. For who doesn't know me, I'm Marco, founder of Similia Homeopathy software. And this evening we'll have a webinar where Sean will go through cases with Alexa, which is a homeopathy student. Yeah, I leave it to you two.
Hand it over. Right, thank you. Nice to see everybody. It's really unusual for me to see people from past students from one college, students from another college. So really, really good to share how I'm beginning to use this tool. Alexa, put your hand up and wave. Alexa, who's a student at River School, has kindly offered to, act as a student in supervision. So she's bringing a case, and then we're going to show you what we do with it and how we use Similia to help us analyze the case. The most important thing about tonight is not to really get into the case to the point of, oh, what we're going to give her, and what potency and the prescription. The most important thing is how we use the tool, because I'm beginning to familiarize myself with it, and I find it really useful. How many of you, just put your hands up, literally, how many of you have had a go with it and beginning to use it? That's great. That's really, really good. Well, you might be able to teach me a thing or two as well. Oh, there's Jean. Hello, Jean. Long time no see. Right. Okay. So what we're going to do to start with is Alexa's going to talk us through her case. And I'm going to share my screen, which has got the Similia homepage on it. And there are some notes that, because we've obviously been through this before, that I have taken in it. And then from there, once Alexa's told us about the case, we're going to move into what we would do next, which, as students, is usually repertorisation. So does that sound all right for you, Alexa? Does that sound like we planned?
Yeah, and just interrupt me, Sian or Marco, if I start wandering.
We'll bring you back, because we are, what the whole point of tonight is to try and be succinct as well. It's easy to go off on one. Oh, I must just say something, because someone has written something in chat. I am rubbish at looking at chat and talking at the same time. People that know me will know that. So Marco or Alexa might point out that someone's got a question, but once we're in the sort of lesson part of it, please do feel free to ask a question. Don't wait, just put your hand up. And if those that know me know I can be a bit brusque sometimes, I might just say, hold on a minute, but I will come to you. Okay, it's not because I'm telling you to sod off. It's just basically, I will get to you, but just one more little bit of information, and then we can answer that. Okay, so Alexa, shall we hand over to you?
Yeah.
I'll share my screen.
Okay. Shall I start now?
Yeah, so can you all see Alexa? That's the most important thing. And I'm just on the home page, and what I do is I've started using the cases area. So we talked about this a little bit yesterday. So I click on cases, and there we go. This is the case. But I'm just going to head back to home until Alexa has said a little bit more.
Yeah. Thanks, Sian. Okay, so this is a client, patient. I'm not really sure what we're supposed to call them. Is it patient? JDC, I'm going to refer her to. She's a friend's mother. So JDC, she's 90 years old. She's been a widow for the last 7 years. And for the last 3 years, she's lived in a care home. The presenting condition, the main presenting condition, is a large rectal prolapse that causes a lot of discomfort. She says that she's not in pain, but the carers can see the pain on her face. She's quite an expressive person facially, and they're giving her paracetamol. The prolapse also means that she constantly needs to feels like she constantly needs to empty her bowels, even if there's no need to. JDC is currently taking a laxative 3 times a day because of the prolapse mainly, but she has been taking laxatives on and off fairly regularly for the last 4 years because she suffered recurrent bouts of constipation. She's probably had constipation for 9 to 10 years or so. She now gets diarrhea as well because of the laxatives. She is due to see an urgent a referral person on next week sometime, I think. She has low mood and confusion. She's suffered low mood on and off for quite a long time, but she just definitely gets more low mood specifically because of the discomfort that she's feeling. She also misses her husband, and also, yeah, she's had multiple griefs from childhood as well, so it probably adds to that. She's doubly incontinent now, just because of the laxatives. She struggles to keep weight on, and she's quite a slim build as it is. She has dementia senility, stroke senility. She has got a vascular and Alzheimer's diagnosis. I noticed that sentences can be confusing, so she can start off saying one thing and then she gets a bit confused or says things that don't seem to fit with the first part of the sentence. Processing of a situation appears to be a bit confusing for her. She's also showing confusion with regards to her husband, and she keeps forgetting that he's not around anymore, and does walk up and down the at night. Sometimes she'll be looking for him. She's had a history of UTIs, and Sian, I've managed to clarify that she's had a couple in the last year.
Right.
Well, okay. Okay, so her daughter says that surprisingly she's adapted well to living in a care home, because she's always been a fiercely independent lady, and so they didn't think that she would adapt particularly well and enjoy it. The staff at the care home really love her because she likes to engage in things. She loves to chat with them. They say her demeanour overall is generally placid and she's polite. She gets on with most people in the home, and anyone that she doesn't particularly get on with or like, she tends to avoid them. She loves having hugs. She's quite tactile. Apparently that's quite, I would say that's something that's fairly recent, talking to the daughters. She likes dancing and like performing. And she gets involved with any activities that she's interested in. She loves talking to people from the military when they have people that come in and talk in, especially the Air Force. She can get quite emotional now, and carers say 90% of the time they can reassure her and she's better for having a hug. There are times, like 10% of the times, where she can get angry and emotional, and then reassurance doesn't work for her. But apparently she doesn't stay in that state particularly long. She misses her husband and gets confused where he is. Yeah. So looks wise, she's quite tall. She's got a reasonable amount of kyphosis. She walks with a frame, has a slight limp now because she broke her hip back in 2021 and had a partial hip replacement. Talking to Sian earlier, I don't know whether it's appropriate to mention this now, but I will. It's possible she uses the frame more for reassurance than actually being necessary, and the homes quite like them to have them. She has had a history of falls as well, so it's just an added thing for her. yeah, when she first got injured, she was very down about it, but she seems to have got her head round the fact that she's not as independent or mobile as she used to be. Yeah, so she's a slim build, but she is underweight. I put here she's got piano fingers because she used to say that apparently, and that might fit with a constitutional picture. She's got a very expressive face, and she's quite young looking for her age. She's still got quite a bit of her own colour of hair, so she's not gone completely grey. She apparently needs encouragement now with her personal care, and she will needs to be encouraged to change her clothing because she can often wear something for quite a while and then it can become a bit smelly. And this apparently is massively different to what she used to be. She was also always scrupulously clean and very proud. The daughters say that there's a real sense of polarity with the mum, in that she says often that she doesn't want to be here, as in being alive on the planet, but yet she's very engaging and interested, chatting to people, doesn't ever miss meal times, unless she's ill, of course, but and she likes to interact with people. She's able to reflect on hardships and make sense of them with hindsight. And she does tend to she can hold a grudge for quite a long time. And I go through them.
Oh, go on. Are you going to say go through the mental emotional?
Mental emotionals, yeah. So I'll go through the list that we wrote. So like she's got multiple griefs. Do you want me to go into that a bit more? Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So JDC was born in 1935, so she's 90. So she her father went to fight in the war when she was about 4 or 5 years old. Her mum died 2 weeks after VE Day, and she says when it happened, she lost her mother, she lost her father because he went back to do whatever they were doing post-war. Her sister went to live with the auntie and uncle, and she went to live with her grandparents. So there's that abandonment and like grief there.
The whole family just
Yeah,
falling apart, wasn't it?
yeah, absolutely. She mentioned about she had a dog in the war. A lot of families had dogs apparently, and he was rehomed, but nobody told her. She just saw them being taken away. Right, what else have we got? She saw a friend die that got knocked over by the school bus, and she knows of families where like friends of hers from school where their blocks of houses were all demolished in the war from a bombing raid. So, and then she's had friends since then die, which I guess she did by 90 years old.
And how old was she when her husband died?
When her husband died, it was 2018, so what's that, 83?
Right, yeah. So
Yeah,
recently.
Yes. 7 years ago, yeah. And she often can't remember that he's actually passed away and no longer.
And how did she cope with that?
Okay, when it first happened, apparently she was really, really angry. She was angry at him for leaving her. So like that was her words apparently. Like, why has he left me? Why have you gone? You've left me on my own. Which I guess, you know, is another abandonment, feeling of loss, and left here to pick up the pieces herself. Apparently she got, within like a day, she started to, they had separate rooms, and she started to take all of his stuff down to a charity shop, which was quite upsetting for the daughters. Yeah. So she discovered that he got some thyroxine tablets So he sounds like he had hypothyroidism, but and also the doctors were treating him for asthma. He had inhalers, and she was adamant that he didn't have asthma or a thyroid condition. She was adamant. She said, "My mother had asthma. That you're, you know, like there's no way that your dad has got asthma." And she's talking to the daughters, so she wouldn't accept the illnesses. Yeah. So like this. Do you want me to go into that possible sense?
No, tell us more about the grudges in relation to her sister.
Okay, yeah. So she had a falling out with her sister because her sister didn't know the father quite as well and was actually scared of the father. And she said something to JDC when he was dying of cancer. She said something like, "Oh, stop getting so upset over it. Why you're making a big deal of this," sort of thing, which really upset, you know, the lady, obviously. And then when she got married, the sister didn't come to her wedding either because she was heavily pregnant, and it really upset JDC. So she basically didn't speak to her for about 40 years.
Which is a long time. It's not just having a huff for a month. That's 40
No,
years.
absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Tell us a little bit about her first love.
Okay, yeah. So she had somebody that she was very in love with that she never spoke to the daughters about. She just mentioned it in passing a few times, but she would give no information about it. And I think reading between the lines, that sounds like her true love. And then when she met her then became husband, I think they were neighbours, and so she didn't see him very much because he was in the army, and he came back and basically in a Valentine's card asked her to marry him, and she didn't say yes straight away.
You're gonna watch something instead. We're gonna stay inside.
No.
She didn't say yes straight away. She basically left it for a while, and it was her grandfather that said to her, "Have you given John an answer yet?" And she says, "No, not yet." And he says, "Well, I think you should." And she said, "What would you do?" And he says, "Well, you will be secure and set up if you were to marry him." And so she did, because she felt that it would take a weight off his mind if she married and settled with somebody.
Okay. So Alexa, let's go through her medical history.
Yeah.
That's written down here, and I tried to do it in order, but we'll let Alexa give a bit more detail.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me just go through my actual main document then. So she's had quite a big medical history. She had quite a few things from the sounds of it, like really early on in life. She's actually quite a resilient person, generally. She seems to throw off infections and things quite easily. So she had a rash on her face in her late teens, apparently, and she had all sorts of different treatments from the doctors, but nothing worked. And she kept going into like a herbalist store, and eventually the man spoke to her, and she explained the situation, and he said, "What you've got there is delayed shock, and it will be only another shock that actually gets rid of that." And then I think it was her grandfather when he died. I think that was the second shock. There was a second shock. The daughters are a bit, you know, you don't take notice of everything, do you, when you told them to begin with? So yeah, so then she had TB, tuberculosis, and she was sent to a sanatorium. I think this was in her 20s. She was sent to a sanatorium to recover. They found out from X-rays that this was the second occurrence of TB. So she'd had TB with no symptoms earlier in life at some point. She was really, she was in a bad way with the TB apparently, but she did pull through. She's had lots of mercury fillings, some big like amalgams in her teeth. She was sent away from work. She worked for the Geological Association, and she was sent abroad supposedly on a project. And when she came back, she said, there was nothing for me to do over there. And they said to her that they could see that she needed time out. She needed to rest because she was heading for a breakdown. She had her appendix removed at some point in time. It developed into peritonitis. She also had some sort of uterus thing where she had bad, I can't remember the medical term for it, but period pains basically. Yeah. And apparently her uterus was quite small, and we think that, reading between the lines, that it was rotated backwards from what she was saying. And she had an experimental procedure called a sympathectomy operation, where they seemed to cauterize some new nerve endings in the uterus. Anyway,
so they did that to deaden the nerves, so they would, so she wouldn't experience so much pain.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Then she had gastroenteritis. She had a car accident and damaged teeth and was taken to hospital for that. She hit menopause quite
Before that though, Alexa, hang on, she's got two children. Yeah. She had
two children. In her early 30s. The second child had there was attachment issues because the second child was born in Germany, and apparently, according to German protocol, if the mother's got a history of tuberculosis, they take the child away for about 5 days or something. And the daughter's got on her album no contact with mother written, so she had no contact. The second child apparently also didn't latch on properly and was was crying a lot. So I think there was quite a lot of issues around that, and feeding and stuff, so she had to be bottle fed.
Menopause then?
Yeah, onto menopause. She went through menopause relatively early, in her early 50s, and she was in a study at the university hospital for osteoporosis or something, and I think that was possibly following a fractured foot. She got a metatarsal, I think, that was fractured. And then in her 70s, she had a hysterectomy that was ovary sparing. She had a uterine prolapse at some point. I'm assuming, well, it must have been before the hysterectomy. There's a history of falls. She fell down the stairs at her daughter's and fractured but left wrist. And then she had, in her early 80s, that was about 75 years of age. In her early 80s, she had 2 or 3 minor falls. She was diagnosed with high blood pressure and high cholesterol. But she's had high cholesterol apparently all her life. She was given Ramipril and the bone density tablets. and some calcium tablets as well. They made her constipated, so she came off those. She wears hearing aids. She's had a cataract operations, and then at 82, 82 years of age was when her constipation started getting a bit worse. And then at 83 years of age, yeah, her husband died. She had another fall later the year after her husband died, where she fell backwards, hit her head and bruised her ribs. Apparently she would normally not want a fuss being made and would say, I'm fine, but she wanted her daughter to go over and stay with her. She then tripped in the COVID times in a neighbour's garden, and then at 86 years of age she came over to live with her daughter because she lived 80 odd miles away. She's had a history.
When her dementia was diagnosed, is that right?
Dementia was diagnosed around about that time, yeah, after she'd come to live with her daughters. And yeah, a history of repeated water infections since the husband's died as well. And then she moved into care home. She broke her hip actually when she was living in ward and aided accommodation before that, and that was when, and she was also very, very tearful around about that time as well. She was starting to really struggle to be able to live on her own, showing the signs of dementia, and that's when the daughters decided that a care home would be the best option for her, never thinking that she would actually adapt, but they think that her moving to a care home made her feel less fearful, cared for, heard, you know, and she on the whole enjoys being there. She still gets the odd low mood now. The doctors are wanting, well, the care home are wanting to talk to the doctors about putting her on some antidepressants. One of the daughters has asked for a trial of some natural supplements first, which the doctor's been happy to look at. But since the mood has took another downturn with the prolapse, it's looking likely that they're going to want to put her onto some antidepressants. She's never been a real big medicine taker. She didn't take the Ramipril since her operation, so she's apart from laxatives, she's not on any medication, which for 90-year-olds is pretty good, I think. Yeah,
impressive. Yeah, should we just go through her generals then, because that's brought us up to date.
So generals, she's generally thirstless, but she does love cups of tea. They tend to make them quite milky though at the home, apparently. She loves liver and onions and cheese. Cheese has been a long-standing, well, they've both been a long-standing ones, liver and onions and cheese. She dislikes minced meat and burgers, things like that. She doesn't like the texture of it, apparently. She's quite cold-blooded, likes dancing. She gets vivid dreams of her husband now, where she doesn't actually know whether it's a dream or whether, like, she's had a visitation, I guess. Family history?
Yeah, family history.
Yeah, family history. Her father died of lung cancer when she was 31 years of age. He was born in 1908, so he was a young child when the First World War was on. Her mother died of throat cancer. She was a non-smoker. She had asthma and claustrophobia, and she was born in 1907. So again, during the First World War.
Well, she was growing up during the First World War, wasn't she? Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's open it up now. Thank you, Alexa.
Okay.
We might have some more questions for you to fill in some details.
Yeah.
But do you want to say first what you felt or what you feel is the need for focus from us, and then we can see what other people think, not judging you, but what they would want to do.
Yeah. I think due to the age and like the fact that where she's living, I think, and the quality of the life that she's got, I think the prolapse, because it's the size of an apple, it's causing discomfort, is the #1 priority, without a doubt. And then, on the back of that, I would say the constipation, because that's clearly sort of not helping the situation, and she's got to have the laxatives to deal with that, which is therefore also dehydrating the bowel and doing all the stuff that we know laxatives do.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, that's the main thing. The other thing that I was also was at the back of my mind was that because of her age and because she's got so much grief and abandonment and emotions that she's not expressed, remedies that are going to potentially make her face up to those sort of things, process them, I think needs to be avoided or minimized. Does that make sense, Sian?
Yeah, I think what you're trying to say is that she's quite delicate. I mean, she's 90 years old, so go back over the multiple griefs or trying to process them is a hard one. And if you did it, you'd want to do it gently. It's more about where she is now, because her personality has changed a little bit now as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Because she's much more sociable, and she also is in a place where she seems to like. It's a shame that they, that this is me speaking now. It's a shame that they feel like they want to put her on antidepressants, because in some ways she seems quite happy. But they're there and we're here. But that is something that we can bear in mind. So I think the most complicated. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say, when I was speaking to the daughters afterwards, they said that when the dad died, there was the anger, but because the community, she lived in Norfolk at the time, because the community they looked out for her and they made her like the centre of attention, and she couldn't understand it, she sort of, it was almost like she felt like she had to sort of stand back from being the focus when the husband was alive, even though apparently he would never have tried to keep her down. And I think possibly that's having Victorian grandparents upbringing that, bringing her up, that would have said a woman's place is in the home, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So,
right. And the other thing that's really awkward, I mean, I've had people like this myself, is that when you've got somebody in a care home, it's very difficult with actually administering the remedies. They are not that keen to do it without a doctor, so it is good to get somebody else on board. So it is, the whole situation is quite difficult when it comes to the practicalities. It sounds like the doctor is quite open to things, because he's happy for her to try some supplements first. So yeah, so all of that, well, not all of it aside, bearing it in mind, let's have a think now about what you want to repertorize, really, what you want to focus on and what you want to repertorize. Now, I went into the case notes that I made yesterday when Alexa and I were talking, just so that you've got something here. And this is how I would do it on my own. But there are other options. And I'm just going to get, before we go into what we do, I'm just going to ask Marco what are the possibilities?
Yeah. Actually, one thing I forgot to mention before is that one thing we would try to start is that we would run the AI analysis, which read the notes and suggest rubrics based on our notes. So
Okay,
maybe
where-
that's, you go on create first analysis.
create first analysis, yeah.
And now you go on notes.
Oh, notes.
And here you have the AI
And
analysis.
then there's the
Yes.
AI analysis. So we've got, this is in Murphy, so it's doing what
Yes,
you should
by
say.
default, yeah. If you have access to multiple premium repertories, you can decide which one to
You
use.
can
Yeah.
choose. So with Murphy's, you mean the meta repertory.
Yes.
Those people who don't pay the subscription, there you get Kent, don't you?
Yes, well, in the free version, we have 5 classic repertories. We got Kant, Boric, Bonninghausen, Boger synoptic key, and Herring guiding symptoms. But actually, so this AI functionality is only available in the professional version.
Right, okay. So what would you do here then? You want to run the AI analysis
Yeah.
and see what it comes up with. Okay, so I hit the button,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
This
So
is
yeah,
me.
in real time, below it will show the symptoms it's running through.
And at the bottom, it's saying analysis might take up to 1 minute to complete. Time elapsed. And
Yes, after a while, which, yeah, okay, now you see in real time it picked up 27 symptoms, and so basically it will run through all those, and then it will give us a list of rubrics. And I mean, it's quite a big list, so it's that still, of course, there's work to do from the user, from the homeopath, to pick the one that he believes are relevant to the case. So yeah, this can be a way to start. Then, of course, in my experience, it's still important to go and look manually for other rubrics and adjust it and so on. But it can be helpful as a start.
So the important thing is to make your notes sort of, I suppose, concise, because the more that's in there that's a bit waffly, for want of better terms, the AI doesn't know that it's a bit waffly, and so it will try and do something with that information as well. Is that right, Marco?
Yes, that's right. Even though we try as much as possible to extract from the notes what we believe, at least, like, yeah, we try to tell the AI to extract what should be relevant to find rubrics. But of course, if they are more organized, it would work better. But still, even if you just input notes so that they have non-relevant things, just don't consider them mostly, and still comes up with the
yeah. So am I right in thinking on this upload notes, you can upload a picture of your handwritten notes?
Yeah, that's correct. So in case, yeah,
it can read it. I don't know whether it can read my writing, but
yeah, I mean, you would be surprised. We made some tests, and it can read even quite difficult handwriting. So yeah, I would not be too worried about that. I've tried with some really old, like was not even very good image and really difficult handwriting, and still was performing quite well.
yeah.
So
So
yeah,
I can see it working through. If you look down the bottom, it's working through the list that in the notes that I've created. So
yeah, actually, I mean, on longer notes like this, it can take a few minutes.
yeah.
That's why, yeah.
Can that be running in the background while you go on and do something else, or do you have to wait for it to finish?
Actually, I'm pretty sure that it does, but now probably I would wait since it's almost done. But
we've got this far, we don't want to.
But
so the thing
yeah.
that I would say with this is that once you've got something, you really do need to go through and check it. It's not like, oh yeah, that's a great thing, I'm just going to give them my notes and it will come up with a prescription and start, send a prescription off or organize for the prescription to go to the patient. You need to make sure that what it's picked out is relevant, and it will have picked out a lot. So because there's no emphasis in that list. The emphasis, Alexa knows because she took the case. You know, you need to know where that is, and it could be that your notes need editing, and there you go. It's come up with a lot of
Yeah, absolutely, Shannon. So just
some of them are those ones I've picked as well.
so the idea is that so they are not added automatically to the repertorization, but as you can see, you have the green button. So the idea is that you get suggestions and then you decide which one to add.
So just let's have a quick look through them, because I want also to make you guys think about this. So rectum stool prolapsed, that's their distress prolapse pressure. Is that what's happening? Is that accurate? Constipation general prolapse with rectal, that's relevant. General suppression of emotions aggravates. Does she suppress emotions, and does it aggravate her, or is she someone that, and also that's in the clinical generals, and I'd like to see it in the mind, but you know, this is the sort of thing I want you to think about, question it, you know, is this right, or is there something that might be slightly better? So that's what I mean about, you know, go through your edit. Mind, emotions, irritability, general anger after suppressed. So after suppressed anger, is there irritability? Mind, emotions, dementia, general madness. I wouldn't say,
I would say madness.
no. Mind, emotions, continence aggravates. Mind, emotions, control, lack of emotional. So that's lack of emotional control. She's quite controlled, isn't she, in her emotions? So the way that what I'm trying to get you to do is look at it and think, well, actually question it. Some of you know that I taught research for a long time, and we need to be critically evaluating what we get given. So some of them are really spot on and some of them aren't. So that's what Marco's saying. They don't automatically upload them into the analysis, but some of them we can add. So do you want to go to the which of these, Alexa, do you feel that is a good description of
I'd say the third one down.
Constipation general prolapse?
Yeah, with rectal prolapse. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the top one's relevant. There's only 2 remedies. I think I looked at that one. I think I put it in just as it's correct, but whether I would actually pick that one.
So the other thing you can do then is, you know, we're saying, oh, this one's got 11 remedies in it, so you can have a look at the remedies. It doesn't mean to say you're going to hang your hat on that, but and then so you can open it, have a look, and close it, and then you can have a look at this one as well. And what you'd hope to see is that the remedies are in both, but actually they're not. Because it would be if it was just rectal prolapse, the more general rubric. But when you're being that specific, so it's how specific do you go in straight off. For me, what I do is I tend to do a repertorisation that does include some of the big rubrics, and then I've got the option to go and fine tune it with some that are more, just because I can, because if you're doing it by hand, you don't want to use the big rubrics because it would take you forever. So that's just something that you can get from the AI. I think it would take us a long time to go through all of these.
I mean, that one there, the suppression of emotions aggravates. I mean, I think that's true, but
So we can put that in.
Hmm.
If you think it's true, it's true.
I think so. I think like that she's somebody that, I mean, she was told basically during when her mum died by Brown Owl to be brave. Basically, you know, don't fall to pieces. So
At 9 years old.
at 9 years old, yeah. Yeah.
Sean,
Yes.
is this a time, like if you even went back up to the top 3 when they were talking about the prolapses, of combining those?
Marco, would you combine? I think you've got to, for me, sorry, Marco, I've asked you to answer, but then I'm going, for me, I don't know whether I would, because I want to be able to filter them. You know, I might say, oh, I'm going to put them all in, but actually I don't like that one so much and take it out. But I'll let Marco answer that one.
Yeah, well, I can reply on like the software side. So if you want to combine them, we call them merge them. You can definitely do it, but first you would add them from here, and then when you close the notes and you have the selected rubrics on the left, you have a merge rubrics button there.
Okay, well, so we'll have a look at that in a minute, because we need to. I just want to open it up, because I'm mindful of time. So rather than go through a list that's been created by AI, I would actually like some interaction from you guys as well. But we have that. There was one that actually. Would you say? Yeah. Would you say, Alexa, that when she got angry after her husband died, was that? It says grief with silence. You know, was anger a form of grief, or was it a reaction? You know, so I don't know if that rubric is sort of ringing a bit of.
Yeah, I mean, when we spoke about it earlier, it was kind of almost like that she'd been abandoned by so many people earlier on in life when, you know, her world blew apart, that this was another like abandonment almost.
Yeah. So so we could put that one in, and then there's another one, grief, feeling, sorrow, general anger with, which is, was that what she was in after her husband died?
Yeah, I mean the next one down,
Right.
sorrow, feeling sorrow, general, prolonged and unresolved.
Unresolved, yeah.
Definitely that one.
Okay, we'll put that one. We'll put that one in.
Yeah.
That one as well, would you say? Grief, feeling, sorrow, general, person after losing several. Because it wasn't just one, she's had multiple. And over such a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. And inclined to hold a grudge? Is she like that now, is the other question. You know, this is the thing. We've got a picture of someone who's 90 years old in their whole life. And actually what they are now.
I probably wouldn't put
that one in, because she's not like that. Yeah.
No. Not what I've seen anyway.
Yeah. Does she like a cup of tea?
She does.
No.
Okay. She hasn't got a general aversion to meat, is it? It's just the texture of the meat. Yeah. But she does love her cheese.
And a few words.
Yeah.
Customer service.
Right. Okay. And
in a moment, please request your account number.
so someone's got something going on in the background about banking. I think you might want to mute yourselves. Right. And the uterine prolapse, that's an interesting rubric, but it's not relevant now because she's had a hysterectomy. So I want to go, and the constipation is difficult because she's now on laxatives, but she's had constipation for a long time, hasn't she?
Yeah.
So you could say just constipation general chronic, which is a massive rubric. Or just general obstinate, which is a massive rubric again.
What does that mean? Oh, that sounds...
Obstinate is difficult to reverse, you know, to...
Oh yeah, I would say that then.
Right, okay. So does she still get recurrent UTIs?
Yes.
Right. So I would put that one, bladder cystitis infection recurrent.
And that's all happened since her husband's died.
Yeah, well, exactly. So that's what this is what I want to do, is to get into a bit of an analysis. So Marco, if we leave that and go to analysis now, can we come back to that?
Yes.
Yeah, so I can leave that list, it's not going anywhere. And if I look at analysis, it will take us to where we can look at rubrics ourselves, yeah?
If you want, you have to click the close, on the right. Yes,
Yeah.
this one. Here you can search rubrics.
Right, okay. So this takes us on to another page now, and I want to have a little bit of a discussion before we start pulling these out. So these are the rubrics that AI picked out from the notes that I'd made from Alexa and I went through it. So we've got, this is where Sandra was saying about, should we merge those two? Is there another one?
By the way, now that I think about it, in this situation, I think it would not make a difference to merge them because they don't have any remedies in the same rubric. So usually when you merge a rubric, it's useful, when there is an overlap, to don't give too much importance to that area, because maybe
and
let's say you have...
the reason that they haven't got an overlap, because they are distinctly different symptoms.
Yeah.
No, this is the thing. So what's important to repertorize, you know, going back to what Alexa said, she wanted the prolapse and the things that are happening with your lady now. So I just want to hear from other people. What do you feel when you get a case like this? What do you feel like you want to look at? Nobody wants to speak.
Don't be shy.
Yes. Rasta.
I didn't really know quickly where to find the hand up. Because we've looked at mental emotionals, then we looked at physicals and we looked at generals. I think what I would do is first to make it clear to myself, what do I want to address? Do I want to address this patient from the totality of all her symptoms, physical, emotional, generals, all of it, Kantian method, or do I want to specifically focus on the prolapse and constipation? Because
so
if I have it clear in my mind what I want to do, what kind of method I'm choosing, then I would only focus on those specific rubrics.
Yeah, exactly, Rasta. So let me show you what you can do. So we've just very quickly, or AI has quickly, and we've selected some of those rubrics that AI picked out, have put some rubrics here, but we can do another. So you can look at the patient in their totality, and then you can look at a therapeutic for the prolapse. So if I click on B, I can copy all those rubrics over from A, and then I can say, right, I don't want the mental emotionals here because this is going to be my physical one. So then when it says like mind, emotions, grief, I'm taking those out. Do you want the generals left? No. So that's what you can do. You can prune. So we've got her totality on one page, but you can actually then go in and focus on the prolapse and the constipation. And then you have to make sure your rubrics are accurate. I mean, you should anyway, but I would say you want the description of the prolapse and how it impacts her to be precise. So, you know, you can have a general. So would you show, am I taking out her thirst for tea and her love of cheese? So what you've got left here then is constipation with a rectal prolapse. You've got rectum stool, the chapter, so prolapse painful. Clinical general, we don't want that one, suppression of emotions, because we're not interested in that at the moment, and I'd want that justified. And then rectum stool, distress, prolapse, pressure from. Does she get that, Alexa? Does it cause her distress?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, it's causing pain. It's causing discomfort.
So there's
That's one
painful,
remedy.
but that's specific. Is it prolapse, the pressure of? Yeah, there's one rubric in there. Anyway, one remedy. And then generals, we've said about the constipation is obstinate. We haven't said anything about what makes it worse or what makes it better. And do you also want to include in that about the cystitis? So this is what you'd have to do, so you'd have to think, is that the repertorisation that I want? I think, go on, has anybody else got something they want to say? Because I'm very easy to say what I think. And I've got to...
Can I just ask, so Alexa, we don't know what makes it worse or better. Well, we know laxative makes it better, but nothing else. And is there any emotion, any, we don't know, any emotion connected to that symptom?
Only that I think it gets her down, it lowers her mood because of the pain and, well, the discomfort of it.
So then, right, okay, so let's try and look at that. So you want to say pain and low mood, really, don't you? Or causing low mood.
Yeah. I guess
causing sadness, maybe. So there's pain's general despair with, or depression, general sadness, pain from.
Yeah.
So which, you know.
Which was the first one, the top one?
The top one was pain's general despair with the pain, and the other one is general sadness, pain from.
I don't know whether I'd say it was despair. From what I've been told, it's more it's more sadness, low mood.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you can put that in, but you need to justify. You know, if you want that included in the therapeutic, but.
What about the dementia symptoms?
Right. Okay. So I'm going to come out of the constipation, the rectum one now that Vlasta was in, and go back to the original. Yes, Gladys.
What about the dementia? Because she get confused. She forgot that her husband has passed away.
So are we calling it? Do they call it dementia or memory?
Or a confusion? I think that's what Alexa was saying. Is confusion.
Yeah. Confusion.
And the other thing that people forget about, you can put that in elderly. She's 90.
Yeah, this is what
that's not unusual, but
for a major life things like that,
absolutely.
I can understand not remembering where your keys are, because I don't.
So there's general confusion in older age, but how would you then, what would you want to type in here? So I can very easily go into repertory speak. So I would say that has she got a weak memory, or is it is the weak memory associated with a shock or a grief?
I would say the latter.
Right, let's see what comes up with that. So
I mean,
weak
one of the daughters,
memory.
one of the daughters did say that she wondered whether her father had been protecting a little bit about memory before,
Yeah.
but it
But
was
that's
definitely since his death that
right.
he couldn't
so
do a
weak-
banking.
Yeah.
could
So
say-
I've put in weak memory with grief.
Yeah.
So let's see what it comes up with them. So there you go. Memory weakness of grief after.
Yeah.
But so I get that. But Gladys, does that hit the spot that you wanted to hit?
But did her dementia symptoms started after the grief, or does it start before? If her father was suspecting to cover that memory issue, then her confusion really actually started
No,
before
no,
that.
no.
Husband.
Her husband, Gladys, not father.
Sorry, yeah, her husband. If the husband, because the daughters were saying that they think the father, the husband, has been masking or protecting some of the
It was possible. It was
possible, but we don't know that.
We
But
don't know.
it
We do know
definitely
that-
worsened.
Yeah.
Definitely worse with the grief. So I would
Yeah,
say
so
that works.
There's mind, emotions, forgetfulness, general grief after, which is a little bit broader than the memory weakness.
It's not
Although
like
it has less remedy though, isn't it, right? If
No,
I'm
that
looking
one's
at the
got
screen.
3. This one's got 3.
Oh, sorry. I thought it
And
was
this
31.
one's got 8. Yeah.
I should make my screen bigger.
Sorry.
Or would you just combine and take both of them?
Do you know, this is what I find fascinating now. See, this is when my fingers come out and I start wagging. So the thing is like, oh, if we were having to do this by hand, we would make a decision. Whereas because we've got this thing. So you can, yes, you could take them both, Gladys, and combine if you're being a lazy girl.
My way of thinking is because the language is specific to individuals.
Yeah.
And so sometimes people would describe different things and they mean different things. So to me, that's why I would like to take both and see what happens.
I know, and I know you, and you always justify things really well. So good. But it is memory weakness, grief after, but forgetfulness, general grief after. I mean, they seem very similar to me, but one's got 5 more remedies in it.
Yeah, and to me, I would say she actually is forgetful because she completely forgot that her husband passed away.
Well, there's another thing.
thing.
There's another thing here, but people haven't got to that. Like Vasta wanted to focus in on the rectal prolapse, and then you've wanted to let's not forget the dementia. Has anybody got anything else to say about this patient?
Abandonment.
Sandra.
Abandonment. She just was so abandoned and couldn't figure out why her husband would leave her alone, which to me brought her way back to all of her history of people leaving her.
Because her mum at 9, then her sister moved in with her uncle, she moved in with her grandparents, her father was away. So did she perceive it as abandonment? It seems like when her husband died, she definitely perceived it as abandonment. So I absolutely get where you're coming from, Sandra. So my question to you is, how would you want to what would you want to put in there to get a suitable rubric?
Fear of being alone, or just, well, I mean, I'm on the spot here. I would.
Okay, you don't need to be people, help her out. So Sandra said abandonment.
Forsaken.
Okay. Forsaken, but why can't we just put abandonment in there?
Yeah.
No?
Fear of abandonment.
Who said fear? Jenny.
Yeah, I mentioned that too.
Yeah, so fear of abandonment and also not understanding, but that's the thing. So let's look at that.
Is it fear of abandonment? She has been abandoned. So, okay, I'm not.
Can
Yeah.
I just say something? Can everyone hear me?
Is that Narmin?
Yes.
Yes, Narmin, go.
So all around this case, I feel that she obviously she's had so much loss, but I feel like she's never really been able to live through it, to feel it. She always had to move on.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, where this fear of abandonment could be coming from. But does she know about it? So I'm not sure how we'd repertorize it, but it's something that she doesn't know what actually happened to her. That's how I feel about it. And she just had to go from one thing to another. She's not really had time or
She's not
opportunity.
turning around and she's not turning around and facing it. So what's the word we use in homeopathy to
I would have thought with being with her mother saying, or with someone saying to her, you've just got to get on with it. I would call it unacknowledged grief.
and there is that was one of the things, wasn't it? Unresolved.
I didn't see, yeah, but unacknowledged by others, really.
Right. Well, let me just.
Which is slightly different to unresolved.
Yeah. Hang on, Julie, because I'm going to go to that. But I just want to put in about the abandoned, because she does feel abandoned. Abandoned feelings, forsaken, anxiety as if a friend had abandoned her. But there is one about husband, isn't there? But I think that goes back, that there is a fear. I do agree with Jenny that there is a fear of abandonment, or she feels that she's been abandoned. So we should include one of those rubrics. And then, Julia, I want to go specifically to what you said. So let's choose, which one do you want to include, Alexa?
Oh, me. Well,
or Jenny, if she was the one that suggested it, actually.
So I was trying to like think from what the daughters have said about the feelings of abandonment and whether it is fear. And I do think there is fear with it still, like,
because you've got abandoned, feelings forsaken, loved ones by a loved one. So that's
Can't
by
we
a loved
use?
ones.
Sorry, can't we use multiple of them and then merge them?
Or
No,
what if
you're being yeah, okay, that's fine. So
I'm on the edge of my seat.
feels forsaken. We'll put in feels forsaken by her loved ones, but I think the fear abandonment's got to be here somewhere.
What if you wrote in semantics, feeling of being left by all, or something like that, and see what semantics has to say? All who loved her, or all who cared for her, or something.
Nothing's.
Nothing.
No.
Oh. No.
Could you put family?
Right, hang on a minute. Sorry, Marco.
No, I mean, you just have to do the search. The semantic search is already
there.
The one you are using. Yeah.
Okay. So again, we've gone back to this one. So we've got feels forsaken by, but I haven't got fears abandonment.
One thing you can do, Sean, is that if you type now without pressing enter or the search button, it will filter. You see, like if you just write fear, for example, it will show the rubrics from the previous search that contain the word fear.
So just say that again, Marco. So I had abandonment in the last one, and then I started to write fear. So you're telling me it remembers that I have been looking at abandonment.
Yeah, so when you make a search, it comes up with a certain number of rubrics. So before, I think it was maybe around 48 rubrics. So then if you start typing again, what it will do is that it will start filtering the results of the previous search with what you are writing. So
I didn't know that. That is really useful.
That can be quite helpful. So
because what it's done now. Sorry, Marco.
No, yeah, just saying that from the search that you made with feeling left by all,
Yeah.
now it's showing only the rubrics that contain the word fear.
Yeah. So, Alexa, what you've got here is fear alone of being left alone. So you said she likes company in the care home, doesn't she?
Does, and she feels so much more relaxed in there.
Because she's surrounded and someone comes to check on her, they feed her, they do that, they
Have a
talk to
word.
her. She's
Yeah,
got.
yeah.
So do we like any of these?
I think that top, I quite like the top one, but
Right. Okay, good. Now I want to go back to Julie. Julie, I haven't forgotten you. What was it you specifically said? Tell
It
me
was
again.
about being told to sort of man up and get on with it. So I felt that her grief as a child wasn't acknowledged by people around her.
Yeah, so
Unacknowledged grief, basically.
Or suppressed.
unacknowledged grief, and that's by others, but I'm thinking suppressed because
Suppress.
yeah.
Because she's been told to just suck it up.
Do you agree with that, Julie?
Yes, I just initially saw the unacknowledged, like no one's there
That's
for
by
her.
others, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll just
Yeah.
put that in for you. If I can spell.
And when the other thing that said about sadness from grief, there was another rubric. There's sort of like it's morose and gloomy from grief. And Alexa said she's sort of low or down as opposed to the sad emotion. So I wonder whether that was quite accurate as well.
Yeah, I don't know if that's been.
No,
Yeah,
that's
I
not come up.
don't know if we can get too pedantic. Is
No.
what I'm trying to say, because it's what's in repertory speak. I mean,
Yes.
if you had
Well,
time.
no, it was a rubric on the earlier page.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
But so if you had time, you can do it. So we're exploring what did you see, this is what I think, the grief is unacknowledged by others, but it always comes back to about the person. Can anyone?
Yeah.
It's not that. So in other words, what she was being done is encouraged to suppress her grief.
Yeah.
And was it just grief? She had her first love, didn't she? And she didn't.
Yes. Yeah.
But suppressed grief or
suppressed emotions, I suppose.
I mean, when you look at her history, suppression is massive.
Yeah.
She's had surgery, she's had medication, she's had suppressed emotions. Suppression is huge. Just
ambition, her ambition.
Yeah, because she
won't say that because I thought that was probably not relevant.
Yeah.
But
because she was quite enjoying her work, wasn't she? And then
she wanted to be. I didn't say that, did I? She wanted a career, and she fell pregnant quite quickly with her firstborn, and she was apparently she'd got possible promotion to retrain to be a scientist. She was very well thought of, and the people that she worked for wanted her to bring her baby in, but she obviously then had the programming from that sort of era of a woman's place is in the home, bringing up the child, so she didn't take it.
So you can look at ambition there, but going back to Julie, actually, I don't understand this rubric, so what does everyone make of it? Suppression emotions of aggravates people by other people.
Yeah.
What other people are affecting her, making her suppress her emotions? Is that what it means?
I don't know. So. It's quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's quite an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, Brown Alf and Brownies told her to. So is that what that one means?
That's more where I was looking with the.
Let's put it in then, Julie, because that's your. Yeah. So looking back at the notes, Do I have to close this, Marco, to go to notes?
You just click on notes and that's fine.
And it's fine. Because what Alexa and I did talk about, you know, what's been, when you look at everything that's happened, and those of you from River School and from other places, you look at what those parts of the body actually relate to. So the anus is the releasing point or the dumping ground. Whenever I have a bowel case, I often, especially constipation, what emotions are they holding on to and not letting go? You know, so rectal prolapse. Where did you get this from, Alexa? Which is this Louise Hay or is this something else?
Most of them were Louise Hay, but there was a couple where I don't think the rectal prolapse was the Metaphysical Anatomy, Yvette, the big book.
So living in fear, relieving trauma experienced during or reliving trauma experienced during childhood. So this rectal prolapse is quite interesting. Living in fear, reliving trauma experienced during childhood relates to issues with a parent or sibling. One of both both parents may have rejected you as a newborn. That wasn't the case, but she did have an issue with her sister, and then she was left.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting. And when Alexa was telling me about prolapse, and then she had a uterine prolapse, for me, my mind goes to the spleen and the splenic energy.
Yeah.
Traditional Chinese. So that's something, I'm not suggesting we repertorize on that, but when someone's, you know, had a life with all this experience, you do look at other things. And she had TB. She had TB twice. I always think of it in terms of grief, but there's something here with shame and guilt. I'm not sure that's appropriate, but it definitely, you know, the lungs is definitely grief. So for those of you that are interested, that's interesting notes to think about, you know, where did it all come from? So I'll go back to the analysis. How are we doing for time? So has anybody got anything? Yes, Sandra.
I'm hearing the last things about her not being able to fulfill her own dreams. That might be the crux of this whole thing. Because if she were able to fulfill her dreams throughout her life, she wouldn't need somebody else to be there for her, because she would then be able to live her own self.
That's quite interesting as well, isn't it? I mean, we don't know where that's where she is now at 90. I mean, we can surmise that. Whether you'd repertorize it and take it into consideration for the 90-year-old, I don't know, but I've just put in thwarted ambition. And there's a rubric here that is ambition, general ailments from loss of ambition or disappointment from. So, you know, it's not that she lost ambition, was it? It was more that
she was prevented in the first place from going. She wanted to become a Wren and be in the Navy. And she was told that by her grandmother, I think it was, that was no place for a woman to be.
Yeah, you see, that's the generations, because she wasn't even being brought up by her parents. That was a generation of even further back where they wouldn't have had anything like that. So it's whether it's from loss of ambition or disappointment from loss of ambition, or then there's another one, deceived ambition. You know, what do these mean? You need to be.
How do you find that out though, Sian? Because I struggle with that in general. Like, what do they actually mean?
I think you have to like try and think of it in modern day language. I think loss of ambition, I see it as is that someone's actually, they were really ambitious at one point, but actually now it's like they can't be asked syndrome, or can't be bothered, or they've lost that. That's something it's almost like a deflated balloon. Whereas from deceived ambition is very different. That makes me think, what happened that she couldn't achieve?
It could be the first one, because one of her daughters was saying that She remembers there being a situation where the father was trying to encourage her to do a course for the Open University because he was studying, and she was really bright.
Mm-hmm.
But she said, I'm too old to study, and that was in her 50s.
Mm. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we'll put that in. I'm really aware of the time now. Do you feel like the rubrics you've chosen, because a lot of people have thank you to those who contributed. So those that haven't contributed yet and you've been watching, how do you feel that they have created a true reflection of the case? Or do you feel that? Gladys, I'm picking on you.
I am thinking back to what Alexa started off with when you ask about the focus of the case. We talk a lot about the mental motion, but if she is not ready to face those or not, because it could be our projection. It could be just us using our current modern day lens to look at how she might have felt 70, 80 years ago. So are these really the rubrics that we would like to use?
And what you want to address. So this is the front page was, it covered a lot more about her, and I am gonna hit the analysis button so you can see. So I get what you're saying, Gladys, but let's just see what's there, because then we can go to, you can duplicate them and take out what you don't want. So at the moment, from all of those rubrics, what's coming up
Asia,
is Ignatia.
of course.
But Natmure, Staphylos aureus, and carcinosin.
Yes.
Carcinosin's quite high up there, and considering it's, you know, a nosode that's not well represented. Then you've got lycopodium and you've got pulsatilla and causticum. So what these means is that there's 16 rubrics here, and what this is saying is that Ignatia has scored 18 points and is represented in 10 of those rubrics. Natmure, 17 points, represented in 9 of them. Staphylos aureus, 12 and 6. Carcinosin, 11, and is in 5 of the rubrics. So now you can look at B, which is where we just took the constipation with the rectal prolapse, the rectum stool prolapse painful, rectum stool distress prolapse pressure, constipation obstinate, recurrent cystitis infections, and depression general sadness from pain. And then what comes up there is medurinum, sepia, lycopodium, and illumina.
But you know,
they're not in these.
When we spoke about it yesterday, pulsatilla really fit the picture for the mental emotional, didn't it? The fact she likes a hug.
Yeah, and we didn't even put that in actually. Let me go back to that one, because that does reflect what she likes to be held, or is it likes a hug?
She likes a hug. Yeah.
So let's see what I put in that language. I want to see what it comes up.
And there was it's pulsatilla, isn't it? It's good for like going through menopause, and she struggled with those changes, I think. And I think
in the previous, she's had a hormonal picture. So with that, I put likes a hug, affectionate behavior, returns affection, caressing general, inclination for caresses, affectionate behavior. It's not children, so we don't want that one. The other thing is does she like to be held as well as hug? So there's
better for consolation.
Yeah, she is. 90% of the time she is.
Or for company also, right? She likes
Yeah, better
company.
for company. And then I'll go to what Jenny just said. So this is where you could split it. Okay, so right, let me just sorry finish that. So there's company alone while aggravates, or company general, friends of, intimate. What do you?
What's that one? Company alone aggravates. When
It's more
aggravates.
she was oh, here we go. This is the one I was thinking of. I know it's a big rubric, but it might sort of go. So company general. No, where am I? Oh,
The 88 one, isn't it? Up a bit. Up to, is it?
yes. General desire for. That's what she is, isn't she? She likes to have. She likes the carers. She likes the.
Some of the people.
Yeah. And then Jenny, what did you say? Better for consolation. And
Yeah.
Alexa, did
Yeah.
you say that's true?
Yeah, 90% of the time. Apparently there's 10% roughly that she is worse for consolation, but then she doesn't stay in that state very long.
So I'm just going to add this when we found it. So consolation, desire for, but it's ameliorates, isn't it? It's that one.
Yeah.
Right. What I want to do now is flip over to here. And Gladys, you were saying about some of those emotions that we've surmised. Those last emotional rubrics we put in were accurate of now.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're suggesting is we take some of the others out.
Yeah.
Marco, there's something I want to ask you. You said if I wanted to put all the mind ones together and all the...
Yeah, what you can do is to click and then drag. So if you want to put the mind on top, for example, you click and yeah, exactly. And you can drag them and it's there at the top.
Because it just means that if I put these, we have to do them one at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just putting them all together and then we can take out the... We can separate the now from her history. And you know, this is why sometimes children are so much easier, because they've had much shorter lives. You know, this is and I think I've got them all. So mind, grief, prolonged, unresolved. Is that true of now, Alexa? Right, I'm taking
possibly, I would possibly say so.
Right,
yeah,
okay.
I mean, 7 years is quite a long time, isn't
Yeah,
it? With
it
the
is.
husband.
So, grief, feeling sorrow after losing several people. Do you want that in?
Possibly less relevant.
Right, let's take that one out for now, because we want to focus on where she is now. Forgetfulness, general, grief after. That's relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely that one.
Desire for company. The loss of ambition is the one that, like Gladys is saying, that's the one that's, we don't know that. Is that right, Gladys?
Yeah, we speculated.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether she's in that place now anyway.
No. And then the consolation for she likes. That's now,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah. Affectionate behavior, returns affections. Trying to get the hugs. I think it needs to be desire to be held, actually, but we'll leave that. Mind, emotions, fears, general phobias, alone, being left off. Does she have a fear of being left alone, or does she just rather have company?
I don't think it's probably in her mind at the moment.
Right.
When I went in to see her, there was a lady there that definitely was worried about being left on her own in the room. So I wouldn't say she's there.
So then this one about abandoned, feelings forsaken and estranged by our loved ones. Is that now?
I think so now.
Let's take that one out. And then the other one is mind, emotions, memory, weakness of, grief after. It's very similar to that one, the one at the top.
Yeah.
So what you're saying,
So that's about the mind being weak, isn't it?
yeah, memory weakness or
Which is
mind,
to do with the dementia senility, isn't it? So
forgetfulness, these two.
Maybe
Oh,
you could merge them. Could you merge them maybe?
So I'm looking at the what's in there. If they could, you
Ignatius.
could merge them.
Yeah.
Marco.
Yeah.
How do we merge them?
Merge
You
rubric.
click on merge rubrics.
Yeah. And you tick the ones
yeah.
you want.
Yeah.
There's that one and that one. Confirm merge. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Lovely. So in there, we were doing a totality of who she is now. You've got your emotion ones we've done. The only thing that I'd want to put in there, because I feel that this is me, and knock me down if you don't agree. You've got the prolapse painful and you've got constipation prolapse with, but we haven't got rectal prolapse in there, which is what she has.
Isn't that one though? With rectal prolapse, constipation, isn't that it?
Well, that's with constipation. Someone might have a rectal prolapse without constipation. So is that the one are you happy with that? Because if you just let me, this is why I'm saying it. So if you have rectal prolapse, it's a bigger rubric. Does it capture all? Rectum prolapse, that's 123. And that one with specifically constipation with rectal prolapse is 11. So, I mean, it's more specific. So
it's hard, isn't it, at the moment because she's on the laxatives. So
yeah, exactly. So we'll leave it as it is. It's just that was in my thoughts earlier on. So you've got a couple of rubrics around rectal prolapse. You've got suppression of emotions. We've got that aggravates. Anyway, we'll leave it because we're running short of time. And then you've got a rectum stool. Put that one together there. The pressure from the prolapse. And then we've got
it's only one remedy, isn't it?
yeah, well, we can put it, and then we've got why have we got two clinical generals suppression, whereas I'd want to see mind emotion suppressed. Except for I haven't spelt suppressed right. Does it? Yeah. We don't know if she's had ailments from it. Anyway, so there's those, and then you've captured a couple of her generals. There wasn't anything that she really didn't like, was there?
Minced meat.
Minced meat, but also like the
texture.
Water. She's not bothered about water.
So she's quite thirstless. Oh
well,
no, she doesn't like averse water. She doesn't like water.
Drink water.
Drinking water.
And
that's the last one I'm doing because of the time. Doesn't like to drink water. Because you've got to be careful with your wording, because if you put averse water, that means she might not like swimming or something. So see, there you go. Food, thirst, water, general, aversion 2. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, she will drink it if like you force it, but apparently she's not.
She's not bothered.
It's that generation, isn't it? They like tea
Right. Okay.
and apple
So
juice. That's apple juice.
let's have a look at that. So you've got a nice group of remedies there, and you've also done a therapeutic. So let's have a look at what this brings up now.
John, can I just mention one thing? And I know you've done your rubrics,
Yes, Julie.
but the fact that she didn't speak to her sister for 40 years and had lost pretty much all of the, you know, she'd lost her parents, she'd been displaced from her family, and she still didn't speak to the remaining family member for 40 years. And to me, that's sort of quite not common. Then it'd be quite unusual.
It's not common. It is unusual. That's really holding a grudge. The point is now, I think why that wasn't included, Julie, is because she is now that's
gone.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. Thank
so
you.
Absolutely, 40-year grudge. I think it's quite spectacular. When I first started hearing about this case, I was thinking, oh, there's quite a lot of nut muir here, but yeah. Anyway, so what's come up now? By putting in those mental emotionals that fit her now, that brings up pulsatilla much more strongly, Alexa, which is what, you know, what we were talking about yesterday.
Yeah.
But it doesn't cover constipation.
Right, yeah, this is it. So exactly. So we'll tell you what we did. Where are we?
Where's the prolapse one? Where's the prolapse? Because I think that's
the prolapse painful, you come down to arsenicum. It's this row here. So, and the prolapse pressure distress from, can't even see, what is that remedy in there? This is what I mean about and that's only Lil Tig, which doesn't fit her as she is now. So those are that's what I mean about those rubrics. So we haven't actually captured enough from the rectal prolapse, which is why I was saying we ought to really include. So if I close this and just add that one in.
Ignatia seems to cover the constipation and also a lot of emotional side.
Very similar, very, not similar, very related to nux vomica, isn't it? Right. Rectum stool prolapse. Let's add that one in and let's just hit that one last time. Because actually what we discovered yesterday was pulsatilla is in the rectal prolapse picture.
Okay.
Was it pulsatilla or silica?
And silica. Silica was big, but pulsatilla is in there. It's only a 1-pointer, but it's there. Look, let's get that one up there. Oh, I like this dragging business, Mark.
I do.
Sort them out. Yeah, there you go. So it is actually in there. It's not in the memory weakness or the grief. But if you look at so, you know, do what you will with that. We were looking at a few remedies, but again, remember, we're not trying to come up with the prescription for this lady, because that is a can of worms. But I'll let Alexa say what we decided on in the end. But it's the capability. So has that been useful for you watching how we've moved through it? Because some of you seem, from what you were saying, seem to you know, have played with this already. So has it been of value in, you know, showing you around? Anybody want to say anything?
Yes, it has.
Jenny?
Yeah.
Sorry, thank you. No, I wasn't fishing for the compliment. I was just saying, is there anything that some of you would do that we haven't done?
I'm just wondering, because obviously it could be pulsatilla or it could be ignatia or natmur, but is T, desires T, an important rubric?
Desires tea because that's what she likes. And actually, desires tea, the remedy I always think of with that is Thuya.
Okay.
But is it an important rubric? Which ones are important? You know, this is what you have to decide, Vlasta, if it was your case, because you'd have more of the information. She doesn't drink much else. She's pretty thirstless. She doesn't like water, but she does like tea. It's like she likes cheese. So, you know, it's more about, this is the process
Yeah, pulsatilla covers the cystitis as well, but it doesn't cover memory weakness, forgetfulness.
No. And if you go to the one therapeutic, and you add in, I'm gonna if I press add from A, Marco, can I just pick one rubric?
No, if you do that, it will add all the rubrics.
All of them, right? Okay, so I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is just close this, and on B, I'm just going to add that one, and then hit analysis. So if you, this is interesting. So if you then just did it on the prolapse things, what's coming up most is you've got ignatia there again, is sepia. But sepia, you see, these two I think are really a bit misleading. The painful's not, but there's only 2 remedies in it, and that can really sway you. And the 2 remedies are arsenicum and pyridium. Now, do they come up in anything else? You know, where is arsenicum? On here, not till down there. And where was arsenicum in the first one? Here.
Oh.
But only in 5 rubrics, whereas these 3, pulsatilla, ignatia, and natmur, are in 9. So is lycopodium in 9, by the way, and so is causticum. And I like the idea of causticum in this one. But anyway, Alexa, would you like to say what you decided in the end before we finish?
Well, I was kind of going with what was it? Silica. And that was, I can't remember the potency now. I wrote it down somewhere, but I can't remember where I've written it.
Don't worry about the potency, but silica is the therapeutic for the prolapse, because silica is big in rectal.
Yeah, to really address that prolapse. And it also fits with bits of her character in some respects as well, but also then pulsatilla as well for that emotional sort of picture.
And what would you say about silica and pulsatilla? They're related.
Can't remember.
Yeah, they are. Sorry, that wasn't aimed at you. I'm asking everybody else.
Right.
They say, if you read, pulsatilla can be thought of as the acute. It's like you've got kids with their ears. They are related remedies. Because the other remedy that comes up when you just look at prolapse, I'm not sure it did so much on today, is nux vomica.
Is silica the chronic of pulsatilla? Or yeah. Okay.
And also pulsatilla is very much related to calc too, isn't it? So, but that's, though, if you wanted to know about these remedies, then you can, you can click on them, and it takes you to, now this is in Murphy, but you've also got all these other materia medica, and I find that so useful rather than going to the bookcase and trying to go through all the books. So that's really is really interesting. It's really useful, I find, for that. So has anybody got any questions for myself or for Marco? And thank you to Alexa for sharing. That's really helpful to have a real case.
Did you prescribe a miasm?
We didn't, because we tried to keep it simple for the care home people. I had carcinosin at the back of my mind. I don't know. What do you think, Sian? I mean, I was kind of.
The reason we didn't, Jenny, no, we didn't go into well, we did go into it, but we're trying to think about what you've got to go through a doctor, and you've got to go through the care home staff to administer. They won't, you know, I've been in that situation, and they won't do it without. So keeping the miasm out of it, if this was, you know, someone at home and you were prescribing for, then carcinosin, I would. But yeah. So in this particular case, we just tried to keep it more simple. So you've got the totality picture, and you've got a remedy that's got is highly indicated for the rectal prolapse, which is where we wanted to go in the first place. So the rectal prolapse. So silica is one of the big ones, sepia, nux vomica. Ignatius there as well. Mm-hmm. So yes, Vlasta, I mean, we had conversations about Ignatius, but this isn't about the prescription. It's more about, you know, how we came up with it. And Alexa had done her own repertorizations, and you came up with similar remedies, didn't you? Mm. You know, even with different rubrics. So you know, the software is useful because you can include these bigger rubrics, and you can hunt down the one that, you know, so you're thinking pulsatilla, well, actually it is in that rubric. If it hadn't have been in that rubric, you'd be thinking, well, really, maybe not. So yeah. Marco, is there anything you want to, you know, say that we haven't really explored well?
No, I don't think so. No, I think that was great, Sian. Thank you. And I think you showed definitely the most important features.
So for some of you, particularly from River School, there's just one thing I do want to say, and for other people. But now, and this is the, you know, the great things about this software is you've got, for those of you who are students, you've got Murphy's repertory as well as lots of others, but also there's now the meditative remedies available. So
fabulous.
You know, when we talk about her at 9 years old and her family blew apart, you know, there's Budlia you can look at. So it's just having those to hand without having to get the book. So that's fab for me. I feel.
Yeah, thank you, Sian. And yeah, to clarify, so there is a meditative package which is coming soon. It's currently available for beta testing. It's an add-on package, and it will include Madeline Evans' Materia Medica, Volume 1 and 2, and the contemporary repertory of meditative provings.
Excellent. Very good, thank you. Right, so anybody got any comments or questions? You all good? I can only see some of you. The others are just, I can just see names. So
yes, thanks, Sian. That was really interesting.
So useful piece of kit, hey Jean, for especially for me, for my oldest, because I stand there and I still have the book.
It's really
I'm looking for something because I use Radar and Viva, so it was interesting to see the differences.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go. Maybe you'll have to speak to Marco. Yeah. Right, well, anyway, thank you for attending. Thank you, Marco, for developing this and for keeping evolving with it. It's great.
Thanks a lot, Sean, and thanks, Alexa, and yeah, thanks everyone for joining.
Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone.